All right, well, I'm here with Eva Kingma for our second sort of interview for Who's Afraid of the Kingma System Flute, and we're just talking about the role of Bickford Brannen. I'm sure many of you know who he is through Brannen Brothers Flute Makers, and how him and Eva helped kind of collaborate, and I wanted to talk about the role of their ideas from the perspective of a flute maker. So could you just tell us about that?
Well, I know Bickford Brannen for such a long time. He was a very dear friend. And when I was already working on the development of the Kingma system on my low flutes, the altos and the bass flutes, I always had this idea in my mind about the C flute. I wanted to discuss this with him, and since then it was a start of a wonderful collaboration until now. We are still working very hard. Maybe the people in the flute world know that he sold his company 7 years ago because of health issues. And we've got such a base of trust in each other. And so we are now working on the altos and the bass flutes, the so-called Kingma Brannen bass flutes. But
cool.
Beginning 90, we started to work on the Kingma system. And I mean, I cannot think of somebody better than Bickford. Mm-hmm. He is a genius.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, of course, the key-on-key system, the so-called Kingma system, is a concept that started here.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, what he did with it is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you got an instrument like this.
Mm-hmm.
He made it so practical and light and like a real, normal, playable, wonderful instrument. I have to be honest, that would not have been possible without him. And I would not have been able to do this by myself. And as I mentioned in my other interview, I love to work with good people, and I always believe in 1 + 1 is 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Which is the case with Bickford.
Yeah.
So I would love to give him all the credit in the world for his beautiful work, and also what he's now doing on my altos and bass flutes. It's just, it's now more an instrument, like a main instrument on itself.
Mm-hmm. I think that's one of the big misconceptions maybe about Kingma system flutes, is that we view them just as being a C flute. And I mean, even myself, I didn't realize the role of actually the alto and bass flutes in the development of the entire system. And somehow I had it in my mind, because I'm C flute centric, unfortunately, like a lot of the world, that this was the first thing that came along, and this was the first one. But it's so much more of a practical aspect to see that just simply opening the holes on an alto flute or on a bass flute changes that. That's what would actually create the instrument.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for now, we also have a full Kingma system alto flute.
Yeah.
We are still working on a few details, but it came out as a wonderful instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 2 flutes in one. When I started to work on this design, I used the BEUM system as like the highway, because nobody wants to start all over again with practice. Fingerings and whatever. So when you take the highway, the Kingma system will lead you into the little side roads.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there is still this fear, but when people pick it up at the conventions, they are totally surprised.
Yeah,
how
exactly.
easy and comfortable it is. In a way, it made the life of a flute player much easier. I think.
Did for me, absolutely. Yeah.
But there is this barrier.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So you basically, how did you come up? Did you come up with castings yourself for the extra keys? I mean, how did you think to do things like that, like this key cluster or the openings in the middle? Was that?
Again, that's also the credit to Bickford.
Okay, wow.
When he was still running the company, the Brannen Brothers company,
yeah,
beautiful company, He is not only a wonderful flute maker and a genius, but he is also the master in castings.
Mm-hmm.
So when we started to work together, he started experimenting with designing castings, and it's somebody who's never pleased. So he always tries to find the best solution. And sometimes for one Kingma system option, you have to make 10 different patterns to find the right solution.
Oh, I bet.
And so everything that you've got in your hands is designed by Bickford.
Wow.
And all my low flute work here was done by myself. But now on the altos and basses over the last 6 years, he also did all the designing of those parts. And we expect to have a full Kingma system bass flute ready next year.
Oh,
I
cool.
made several already, but those are the so-called Kingma bass flutes, Eva Kingma altos and basses. But now with the collaboration with Bickford on these low instruments, we started to call it Kingma and Brannen instruments.
Oh.
Which is sometimes very confusing for the flute world.
Yeah.
Because it's not made in the Brannen company.
No, yeah.
It's a one-to-one operation.
Mm-hmm. That's fascinating. You know, it's so interesting to see just how you could come up with that. They always say that the best inventors find the need, but then finding the need, it seems some flute players would be like, I already have everything I need on my standard BAME system flute. Do you like the BAME system? Do you think it's the best?
It's still fantastic. It's beautiful. I mean, I wish it would have been great to meet Boehm and to meet Bach.
Yeah.
And, it all starts with a B. I already met Brannen. Boehm and Bach, those are my heroes. And no, it's a fantastic system, but I mean, there are still limits.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when I started to work with Robert Dick.
Mm-hmm.
As we all know, he can do all his things with open holes.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where everything started.
Mm-hmm.
And with Jos Zwanenburg, who came over to the shop from my uncle for a 5 open hole alto flute. And now with my very close collaboration with Matthias Siegler, the Swiss flute player, who's also the coach, one of the coaches for our flute festival in August in Grollo. He is playing the Kingma system for many years. He also has like the Kingma alto and the Austin Brannen Kingma system. And I designed, we call it a Hoover, an upright bass flute until G with several Kingma system options.
Okay.
He is very helpful because as a player he gives me suggestions, input, and I keep changing things. Mm-hmm. So, as I said, the Kingma system, the way it is now, is not the end. Mm-hmm. It's a beginning, and there will be more changes.
Oh, that's great, though. I think just having that spirit of ingenuity is so important to the flute world. And finding out what else we can do and all the different keys. And it'd be curious to see in, like, I don't know, 20 years if Robert Dick's flute will be more available. I believe he said there's only about 5 of them in the world. And he has, like, an extra set of trill keys right there. He's got some extra keys here.
Yeah.
Like, what if that could be options for everyone?
Exactly. Yeah, I think with his options... they are wonderful, and Bickford Brannen did a wonderful job. And when Bickford left the company, there's somebody else who's now capable to make all those options on special request. In my opinion, that will be more for exclusive contemporary playing.
Yeah,
because a lot of key work.
Yeah.
With Kingma system in the way you've got it, you can still use it as a classical instrument.
Yeah.
So it's closer to a normal flute. But Robert is so used to it.
Yeah.
So it's wonderful that there are still many more possibilities
Absolutely.
in the whole design.
Yeah, so speaking of possibilities, let's talk about the festival. I definitely wanted to take some time.
Oh yeah, I would love to tell you.
Yeah, let's hear about the festival, just in your own words. What's going on? What is great about it?
Well, as you probably know, I'm traveling with Matthias for many, many years. We go to conventions. He's doing showcases for me. He is composing for my instruments. So it's a wonderful collaboration. And for some years, he mentioned his idea about doing a flute festival. And he suggested to do it in my place here. When we are working together on his special instruments, he is in my shop for 4 or 5 days. And he started to love this place. So he said there are so many possibilities in Grollo, Dutch, very small town in the north of Holland.
How many people are in this town?
850.
Oh my gosh, that's so quaint and cute.
I love it.
I'm excited.
Really in the country.
I see like trees in the background and like it just all looks so pretty and
yeah. It's very quiet. I need the silence to do my things here.
Yes.
When he brought this up, it's something. Oh, Matthias, come. I'm already so busy, but he kept coming back. And then I said, okay, we give it one try. And if it doesn't work out, then we have to let it go, which was last year, the first time. And it's a festival together with Wissam Boustany, who also plays the Kingma System for many, many years. And Ian Clark, everybody knows Ian Clark.
Yes.
And the Dutch, very wonderful Dutch flute player, Leon Berendsen, who is the principal in the Dutch Philharmonic Orchestra.
Okay.
And so this is a wonderful combination. It's a great team. Piano player is Tim Carey from England.
Oh, he's excellent.
One of the piano players from the flute festivals. And he, it was such a big success.
Mm-hmm.
People can find information on the Grollo Flute website.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are some interviews with the students who were here, and it was 5 days of hard work. We had concerts in the evening where everybody had to play, also the coaches, and it was fantastic. So we will have another one by the end of August.
Yeah,
between August 24 and 28, and we can't wait. We are so excited. So if people are really interested, then they are most welcome to contact me for information. And there will also be something about the Kingma system. I mean, 2 of the 4 players in the team are playing Kingma system. We will do something special on the Kingma system. It will be used in the concerts.
Okay.
And there will be a tour in my workshop.
Oh, cool.
So I will show different things about how we work here. I've got a wonderful silver and goldsmith, David Kirkhoff, who works here now for 14 years.
Wow.
So he will be happy to show people around. It might be nice for people to have a little background idea about how flutes are made is a little, 5 days is too short, of course. But to have a little idea about the whole atmosphere and what you all need to make an instrument.
Absolutely.
So I will be delighted to show it to people.
That sounds great. What else?
You will be there too, Rachel.
I will be there. I'm very excited.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'll have to do a little flute view write-up or a big flute view write about it.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Great.
Yeah, that would be great. What else? What kind? So is it for mostly contemporary flutists? Is it for everybody?
No. That's a strange thing that from a distance, when people hear something about this festival, they think, oh, it's only for contemporary music or modern techniques or whatever. No, it's about everything. Leon Berendsen is a classical player. He will all levels all sorts of music, all different repertoires will come by.
Wow. That sounds really great. And it's in, like, I know you reserved a hotel at De Lindenhof. Is that the name of that? Yeah.
Yes.
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 And that'll be, I'm sure, really beautiful and cute. I mean, it just sounds, it's like part vacation and part super hard work.
Oh, absolutely. There are now people coming back who were here last year who even booked a few days extra for holiday.
Yeah.
And we've got, it's also important for some people to know if there are students who cannot afford the whole trip and stay, there are some people in the village who offer free lodging. So some people would like to stay in a hotel or a bed and breakfast, but there are also people who would love to stay with people.
Yeah.
So the whole village is so supportive.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. So they all know you. They all know that you're like the flute maker.
Yeah, but it's a normal, simple village.
Yeah.
We all live our lives, but everybody follows it with great interest. And the wonderful thing is that last year we booked the church for 3 evenings for the concerts. And I have to say, when the whole thing had to start, I was so nervous because it's hard to get even one evening full in the church.
Yeah.
And we had 3 evenings with so many people from the village, and
Wow.
the people were so excited. So also the village is counting the days for the next festival.
Oh, I bet. That sounds
And
really
it's easy
amazing.
to reach. It's like a 2-hour direct train ride from the airport.
Yeah. Yeah, that's totally easy. It's totally doable, and it's
very-
from the airport in Amsterdam. So, yeah.
It's very easy.
Yeah. Well, that sounds really excellent. So, just for anyone just tuning in who doesn't know about it, so you would spell Grollo Grolloo, correct?
That is
Yeah.
correct. Yes. And everybody can find information on my website.
Yes.
So, welcome to everybody.
Yeah. Well, that sounds really great. Do you have anything else you'd like to say in our interview time, or?
Well, maybe a little word about Albert Cooper.
Okay, absolutely.
Of course, everybody knows Albert Cooper. He was not so into the collaboration with the Kingma system, but he played a very important role in terms of the scales. He designed my alto scales, bass flute scales.
Okay.
He gave me, I started to, for many years, I made the small bore bass flute, which is wonderful for contemporary techniques, better than with the large bore. And then later on, I started the large bore, and Albert made 3 basses himself long time ago.
Wow.
And he finally decided to give me all his figures, his calculations.
Wow.
And I still have the first model that I made, which is a wonderful bass flute.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really grateful for all the work he did. And when we introduced the first Brannen Kingma System Flute in Holland, he flew in and he gave a lecture.
Oh, great.
About this system. He loved it.
Oh, great.
He was so excited about it. He found it a real adventure.
Yeah.
The new century.
Wow.
Yeah. So I miss him every day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so great to find people that support what you do, that get what you do as, a maker, a creator, a musician, whatever it is.
Well, I feel so honored to have the opportunity to work with these wonderful and important makers.
Mm-hmm.
And also like Rainer Lafin. I mean, we are also working a little bit together on the design of my alto risers. And it's always interesting to see what his input is. He's so experience. So that is also somebody who is open and willing to share information. I'm most grateful for it.
Oh, yeah.
So life is a lot of fun.
How long does it take you to make one of your flutes? Do you try to set time frames or not at all?
A lot of people ask me this. It's hard to say because one instrument takes less time.
Yeah.
The other, there are some very complicated projects, and that sometimes when I'm actually really into experimenting, it can take a year.
Wow.
Or 2 years. I mean, you can only develop when you make a lot of mistakes too. And of course, everything has to be there. All the castings have to be in stock. All the tubings has to. It's all especially made in Germany.
Yeah.
Well, the castings are made by Brannen, by Bickford Brannen. But my brass tubing for the low instruments and for the contrabasses are all from Germany.
Wow.
And no standard sizes. So you always have to deal with delivery time. The same with silver tubing, it's coming from another company. So yeah, it's a strange shop. It's a little of everything. And then I'm doing everything myself. So the body work, the stringing, making the key work, finishing, the padding, making the head joints. It's a little different than most companies.
Yeah.
Where people are only doing part of the work.
Oh yeah.
And I've got wonderful help from the silversmith, who's now doing enormous, tremendous things. So
that's great.
My life a lot easier now. And, in the future, because he's working hard here and taking over a lot of work from me, I've got more time to work on other ideas and plans in the future.
That makes sense. Well, thank you so much for talking with us today. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the camera.
Okay, Rachel. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
And I look forward to see you in August.
Absolutely.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.